You'll know if you should buy Severed Steel in the next 37 seconds. Here's your TLDR. Severed Steel is a pure kinetic FPS built around stylish movement, bullet time, and fully destructible voxel levels. The original 2 to 3 hour campaign was always the sticking point, but 4 years of support added Firefight score-chasing mutators, Steam Workshop levels, and a legit roguelite mode that finally gives it long legs. If you value feel and flow over story hours, this is pound for pound one of the best $3 shooters you'll ever buy. If you want a big narrative with set pieces, well, this ain't that. At $2.49 US through October 6th, it's an easy buy for anyone even mildly FPS curious. At full price, it depends on how much you love chasing mastery and leaderboards. There's strong action Half-Life vibes for other members of the back pain crew. If all you wanted was that TLDR, cool, thanks for sticking around. Before you go though, do us a favor and hit the YouTube buttons down there. It'll help the robots on the back end know that this is actually useful content and direct more people to it. If you want a more detailed breakdown, stick around. Oh, and if you're new here, hi, I'm Squid. I cover action and shooter titles, and the name of the game here is Maximum Meaningful Info with minimum reaction faces. Severed Steel released back in May 13th, 2021 on all of your platforms, except for Switch, and PC. We're going to be covering PC here just because, well, I think this kind of fluid movement shooter plays best on mouse and key. Yes, there are some of you who are absolute movement demons on controller. Well, that ain't me. Right now it's on Steam for $2.49 until October 6th. It's usually $24.99. The anniversary patch just dropped. More on that in a bit. So let's talk about the core loop here. Severed Steel is a fluid movement shooter. Think wall runs, dives, slides, window crashes, and that I'm basically filming my own Max Payne edit energy. The twist here is reloads. There aren't any. You grab guns off bodies, toss them when dry, and keep the chain going. The loop is simple on paper and deeply expressive in practice. Engage, breach, dive, kick a door, make your own door. You buy yourself time by triggering bullet time off of acrobatic moves, sliding, wall running, diving. Quirk here is that enemies cannot hit you while you're mid-stunt, so get your Titanfall on. While you're doing that, you rearm mid-flow. Pop an enemy, scoop the gun, continue the chain. Your arm cannon lets you edit the map, where you can chew holes through walls and floors to root around problems or your own impatience. Collect style for score, variety and aggression push multipliers if you're a fan of the DMC style. Redundant statement is redundant. Overall, when it clicks, you hit a zen lane where decision-making and reflexes blur. It's not about headshots per se, it's about continuity, never letting the ballet collapse. And the voxel destruction here isn't just a gimmick, it's a routing tool. You can punch a funnel through drywall to isolate a squad, drop a ceiling to cut off a flank, or slice a vertical shortcut that turns a 2-room slog into a 4-second sprint. The best runs here really look pre-planned, but are improvised from the geometry you just made. That's the magic. The level becomes your plan. Alright, so weapons, gadgets, and the one-arm thing. The arm cannon is your punctuation mark. Breach, finishers, and no, we're leaving through that wall over there. Conventional weapons are disposable instruments. Your SMGs for stitching, shotguns for your delete key, pistols as slide companions. Railguns? Railguns are cool while sliding. At first glance, the lack of reloading will sound restrictive, but it's actually what keeps the rhythm honest. You're rewarded for forward motion, not sitting in a corner topping off your mags. Art, audio, and world feel. The whole package screams Neon Noir Arcade. High contrast color, readable silhouettes, and a soundtrack that barely takes a breath. It's more club firefight than cinematic swell. It sells the fantasy because it never stops to apologize for being a fantasy. Hand-drawn story beats are minimal and fast. You're here to stunt, not exposit and monologue. The modes. So an initially thin offering on launch has expanded greatly with all the different modes today. At base you have your campaign, which is a compact gauntlet. It's fast, replayable, more tutorial by fire than story. It's really where you internalize the verbs and mechanics of the game. Next we've got Firefight, which is 40+ bite-sized arenas with score targets, time pressure, leaderboards, mutators. This is where the game became a hobby of its own for a subset of players. Mutators are your spice rack, gravity tweaks, ammo weirdness, challenge twists. It's cool. More recently, introduced the Rogue mode, aka Rogue Steel. This is the post-launch solve for I want runs with escalation. You have short, randomized campaigns that build meta progression via perks, unlock cosmetic and weapon stuff, and chase a one more run loop that actually fits the game's identity. If you've ever wished Superhot or Hotline Miami had a roguelite ladder, Well, this is that energy in full 3D movement shooter form. On the back end, you've also got the Steam Workshop and level editor on PC. This is the long tail. High-skill arenas, meme layouts, and some genuinely clever routes. Performance and settings. Well, this is going to be uncharacteristically short, at least in light of the games I've reviewed lately. On PC, it's lightweight by modern standards. Crank it for clean motion and high FPS. You really want a stable frame time more than extreme resolution. The fluidity here sells the stunt language. As for settings, it's from 2021 and it's a voxel game. You can run it. The two suggestions I might make here, one's obvious, the other one less so. One, turn off motion blur. Two, rebind the kick control to something more accessible. You're already going to be hitting lots of buttons at once. Thumb buttons on your mouse will get you some pretty good mileage here. And if muscle memory is a little bit much to ask you to relearn here, maybe rebind dive off of shift because, well, shift is sprint in every game, and this time I found myself diving off of things into nothingness. And that was lame at the end of a really good run. Don't be like me. As for the places you'll experience some friction, the campaign is brief. The release day 2 to 3 hour story is still short. Today it's less of a problem because Firefight, Rogue, and the Workshop exist, but if you need a meaty narrative arc, this won't morph into one. As for variety, the verbs are deep, the objectives are simple. If you don't self-motivate via scores, routes, or roguelite ladders, you may bounce off this once the honeymoon ends. There are some oddities with balance. Bullet time tied to stunts is brilliant, chain it right, you feel immortal. Early builds let you over-abuse that. Modern patches have tightened things, but if you seek punitive difficulty, you'll need to self-impose it via mutators and harder goals. Two things I noticed during my playthrough: high-vis objectives in your gameplay settings sound great in theory. They're less great in practice because the icon for said objective gets big and covers things. Also, the kick prompt would quite frequently pop up when I was too far away from the enemy to actually kick it. I mean, realistically, if those are my two main gripes with the game, it's good. So, long tail support and the 4-year patch. Post-launch here is the real story. The roguelite mode, new mutators, weapons, quality of life tweaks reframed the value proposition greatly. The 4-year anniversary update cleaned up a bunch of paper cuts and celebrated what the game has become, which is a compact campaign plus an arcade platform for movement junkies. If you bounced at launch because of the length, it's worth a second look now. As for the value in the Burrito Index, at $2.49 US until noon Central on October 6th, this isn't even one burrito. This is your morning caffeine, most likely. And that buys you about a month's worth of 10-minute runs between emails, plus the dopamine bomb of a perfect route. Realistically, even one weekend of Firefight PBs pays for itself. If you hit the roguelite loop and the workshop rabbit hole, the cost per hour graph goes vertical. At full price, I'd say it's still fair if you're here for mastery and you just really enjoy fluid movement shooters. Otherwise, wait for the next sale cycle. Rounding things up here with the verdict and who it's for. Severed Steel is a 4-year case study in how feel can outlive launch day baggage. The campaign is short, the story is skeletal, but the movement, destruction, and improvisation are evergreen. Roguelite, Firefight, Mutators, and Workshop in the mix, it finally matches its reputation. At today's sale price, it's an easy buy for anyone who ever wished Max Payne let you kickflip through drywall. Off sale, buy it if you chase flow, wishlist it if you don't. For the fluid movement shooter and score chaser enthusiast, this is an immediate buy. This is a laboratory for stylish execution. I'm surprised if you made it this far in the video without already having bought it. For the casual story seeker, likely skip this. You'll finish the campaign fast and wonder where the cutscenes went. For the value shopper, on a deep discount, read as right now, it's a no-brainer. Off sale, ask yourself if you replay Doom levels for faster golds. If yes, buy. If no, wishlist. So those are my thoughts on Severed Steel. Yes, I know I'm very late to the party. 4 years late, you might say. But I think the post-launch support has really let the game come into what it envisioned itself being. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did you already know about this and I've been living under a rock? Are you stoked to have a new fluid movement shooter while we perpetually mourn Titanfall 3 that'll never be? Let me know. Comments, do the thing. If you want more reviews like this, clean, honest, zero fluff, to the point, hit the buttons. It helps more people dodge the rage bait garbage and find stuff that's hopefully useful. Also, I'm usually streaming on Twitch at least once or twice a week. Come hang out, say hi. We also multi-stream on YouTube, but YouTube doesn't like to push those for whatever reason. So if you want a better image quality, watch on YouTube. If you want Twitch and all of its twitchiness, I'm over there too. Links are in the description of the channel, not the video. Words. Anyway, I've been Bald Squid. See y'all next time.